Hey, good morning, my friends. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update, brought to you by Consumers Energy. And let's get into it. Basically, what we have going on is a storm pattern where the storms will inch toward us about 100 miles every day. And so what we're seeing is middle of the night thunderstorms that move southeast, die out during the morning, regenerate a little bit in the late afternoon, but it's more likely an overnight thunderstorm pattern too. So let's get to it and show you what's going on. And here is the nighttime thunderstorm pattern that developed and is currently going. So this will be in its weakening phase as it comes toward lower Michigan this afternoon. And we can take a look at that in just a moment here. I was going to show you, hey, the Storm Prediction Center, they're the experts on severe weather. They didn't have any chance of severe weather on us today. And I was going to show you that and say, sometimes in these marginal cases, they miss it here in the upper Great Lakes in Michigan. And then they updated a couple of minutes ago, and you could see they have the slight chance of severe weather through Wisconsin and some of the marginal chance in the western part of lower Michigan. Tornado chance off to our west, and they give about from Traverse City to Mount Pleasant, Lansing, back to Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, and to the west, a 5% chance of severe thunderstorms with wind. That's because of the storm system off to the west that will be dying as it heads our way. So how do we look at that? We look at that with the model that I like on this case. It's the high resolution rapid refresh, and it shows that die off. So basically, over the course of the next few days, those storms are going to generate in the middle of the night a little closer to us and hold together into our area. And eventually by Friday, they'll generate over us overnight. So here is the radar forecast at noontime, and we're just hot and humid. The other question I'm getting, I will address this too, is when does the heat and humidity end? So let's get through all of this stuff here so you're not here with me too long. This is this evening, 6 o'clock this evening. So in the late evening, we could have thunderstorms arriving in the western side of the state. And this model wants to show that that will continue through the night across the southern part of the state. And I certainly think it could. Anywhere could have an inch or so rain and an hour or so of thunderstorms. Here's another model that goes a little bit farther, and I like this one. Yes, the garden is starting to get brown, says Nicholas Smith. It needs some rain, that's for sure. And we will get it over the next week in several chances. So here is a different model showing that complex off to the west totally dying out. Not so sure I believe that, but then it has a good idea on middle of the night. This is the middle of the night. Another round of thunderstorms generates closer to us, northern and central Wisconsin, and then moves southeast. This is tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., and dying out as we get to noon or so. So the rain will inch its way southward over the next several days, kind of progress from northwest lower in the UP down to central lower, and then by Friday, everybody could get in on it. This is Wednesday night into Thursday. Then we go to one of our favorites, the European model, to see the long term, see when the heat will break. We'll start to talk about that too. When will the heat break? Just to let you off the hook, Monday and Tuesday. That's it. So, European model, here is the overnight clump of thunderstorms into tomorrow morning. And so I would call for thunderstorms tomorrow morning across lower Michigan. And then Thursday morning, maybe some thunderstorms into Thursday afternoon. And then you'll notice a bigger pattern. This is Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Friday night, Saturday morning. So Friday into Saturday, we get more robust, more widespread thunderstorms. And by the way, Ann Arbor, Detroit, southeast, the farther south and east you are in Michigan, the longer it's going to take you to get in on the thunderstorm activity. Now we're Saturday afternoon, and that's a hot pattern and a humid pattern. And now we're Sunday afternoon, that's still hot and humid. And then this is our cold front coming through on Monday, and it cools us down just for Monday and Tuesday, and then we're right back into the southerly wind and right back into hot weather for this time of the year. So highs today in the low 90s with high humidity, and the same deal for Wednesday. Thursday, mid to upper 80s. Friday, you could see 80s in the south. You could see 60s and 70s in the north. It is that time of the year when the wind turns around to the north, it will cool down substantially. Saturday is a hot and humid one, southern half of the state, and Sunday is a blister with the low 90s, high humidity. Monday, the cold front coming through, low to mid 80s, and Tuesday, low to mid 80s in the south, 70s in the north, lower humidity, and then we're right back to the 90s by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So this is just a brief break. Now, what about the humidity? Remember, we look at the dew point for that. When the dew point is in the 70s, we're all uncomfortable. When the dew point drops in the 60s, it's not bad. It's still a little humid. When the dew point drops in the 50s, drier air. So this afternoon is going to be steamy with dew points in the 70s. And the next several days, dew points in the 70s, high humidity. Now, the weekend, maybe the north gets a little bit lower humidity, but when do we all get a break? This is Monday afternoon, and the humidity finally goes down Monday afternoon into Tuesday and into Wednesday, and then it's right back up there as we go out 10 days out back into the 70s. So, in other words, the summertime weather is not going to end anytime soon. What about rainfall? I'll just give you a total rainfall over the next 10 days possible. Everybody gets some rain. If you get in the patch of heavy thunderstorms, you could get 2, 3, 4 inches of rain. And if you miss out on that, you're probably looking at maybe just an inch over the next 10 days or so. So we've got a lot of weather to get through here. Heat, humidity, storms, possible severe storms, although none of these out to the west have been severe, so I would imagine they would be on the low end of severe and probably pretty isolated. And then eventually just a 2-day break in the heat and humidity coming up next Monday and Tuesday, maybe on into Wednesday. All right, there's your MLive morning weather update brought to you by Consumers Energy. Have yourselves a great day. Try to stay cool. Try to find a friend or a family member with a pool and make that, that subtle suggestion. Hey, this is a great pattern for a pool. I bet you're glad you have that. You know how it goes. Take care. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.